hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I always think of my late grandmother on Thanksgiving, and one thing I do every year is I make the dressing for my family. The dressing was one of, because she had so many, one of my grandmother's most famous dishes. So here I start off by cutting up the onions and bell peppers, and I'm putting it into the chicken, which I will let simmer and cook while I do everything else, and I let it cook in the slow cooker, which all the seasonings could seep through, and I will do my thing with everything else while this cooks. I'm going to close this up tight, and we are going to get ready to move on to cooking the cornbread. So here you will see me putting the meal into the bowl. I just washed this bowl, that's why it looks wet. So we're gonna put that in there. And I think there was only like a little bit under a half bag in there. So we're definitely gonna need another bag. So here I am, I'm gonna put a few eggs up in there, only two, I used two. Mix it with some water. Here I am going to grease the pan. I do not use regular butter. I use olive oil. I love the butter form, and it's much, to me anyway, it's much healthier than regular butter. And so I'm going to grease the pan, put butter all around the pan so that it won't stick, so the bread will not stick to the pan. And as I go around or prepare, I'm going to put this one in the oven. Sorry, y'all. But I do go around it again when I get it out of the oven. But here you're going to see me. I poured a little bit of the butter or olive oil in there. I'm giving it a good mixture so that I can put it into the pan. Here is where I put more olive oil onto the pan, and I'm just going to coat it all the way around it just to keep it from sticking when I put, or the bread sticking to it when I put it in. So just give it a good mix, good swirl, so that you can, and make sure you get all of the edges, all of the corners. You don't want to leave any out. And this season can be a tough season, y'all. So I know for us, it's very tough because my grandmother was the matriarch of this family. So I'm wishing you all well wishes during this time. So we're going to get that cornmeal in there. We're going to spread that butter all around the cornmeal. Y'all, you want all of your edges to be golden brown. Now, you don't have to cook this all the way through. We're going to pop it in the oven, and I'll show y'all what I mean in a little bit. So here is where I shred up the chicken. I'm going to shred it up into good thin pieces so that we can get it fine and into the corn meal. Y'all, I did a good job of shredding that chicken. I'm just saying. Now we are going to put in some water into the pot. I'm getting ready to do some more mixings. But at this point, my cornbread was ready. Now, here's where I was saying you don't have to necessarily brown it all the way at the top, because once you put all of your creams and everything else into it, you're actually going to pop that back into the oven again. So let's crumble up the cornbread, and you want to crumble it up before you put all your ingredients in. Look at that. Pretty on the bottom, y'all. It was pretty. So we're going to crumble this cornbread up, and get ready to put everything else in it. And I was crumbling a little slow. I had to prop y'all up because it was hard to crumble it up and hold the camera. So I propped y'all up, and look at that. I'm able to get some grits about it. So here I'm just about to put everything inside of it, the chicken, the creams, the seasonings, all of that. And this is where we are now. This is what we got. Once placing everything in there, I'm just putting a little bit more seasoning at the top of the dressing. And once you get everything seasoned, to your liking, you're going to prepare to pop it back in the oven. And y'all, let me just say, it took me a couple of years to perfected. My grandmother would always tell me, make sure you write down the recipes. Make sure you write down the recipes. And I guess sometimes we take people for granted. I thought I had all the time in the world to do that. And I look back at this as I make this dressing. And yeah, I think it's pretty good. And I've gotten to a good place with it. But I do wish that I'd written down the recipes, because as good as it is, it's still not hers. And I've tried and I've tried to make it exactly like hers, and I could never get it there. And so I just got to the point where I said, I can't get it exactly like hers, so let me create my own, and let me start something where I could pass down to my children, my nieces, my nephews. And I actually write the recipes down now to prepare to give to them. So, you all, if you have family, don't hesitate getting in the kitchen with them during this time of year. Christmas, Thanksgiving, get in there. Even if you can't cook or you don't want to do that part, get in there, laugh, hug them, just make memories. Because as I said, sometimes we take people for granted, and I am here to tell you, one minute they're here and they may be talking to you, and the next minute they may be gone. And not to make this video just down, but I want to give y'all that reminder. So here is the final touch of the dressing, and forever and always in my heart, I love you, Grandma. This video was dedicated to you. One, two, three. Happy Thanksgiving.